BTF, the Mega Episode, Part 2, Week 5 and 6 of Street Fighter League Pro US. Questionable decisions, question mark. Still cursed, or curse reversed. And the halfway mark is here. Where do we stand? Welcome back to Beyond the Fist, the Street Fighter League livecast talk show presented by Toga TV, togashiazrael, Mortsy, and SplicedHelix, here to talk all things Street Fighter League Pro US. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. What's up?
Gucci.
All right. Video footage from Street Fighter League Pro US is used with permission from Capcom. Follow the Capcom Pro Tour and Street Fighter League on Twitch at twitch.tv/CapcomFighters, on YouTube at youtube.com/CapcomFightersTV, and on Facebook Live at facebook.com/CapcomFighters. Week 5 kicked off with former Team Storm Captain Idom and Team Storm Ace Samurai on their new teams for Season 2. Team Frost taking on Team Spirit. Team Frost had their momentum stopped at the hands of Team Inferno last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago, with Samurai Zakuma banned and JB leading the charge with his Rashid. Team Spirit, as mentioned last week, is also seemingly cursed. Strong on paper, but a poor record to show for it. A turning point perhaps for one of these teams? Here are your highlights for Team Frost versus Team Spirit.
As soon as Idom broke down that one plan that Dual Kevin was, which was spacing him out with the fireballs, he jumped in on him once, right? Successfully. It just went all down.
The side switch uses the V skill. Oh, wow, look how close the stun is already.
Oh, and that's it. Or it's going to be the reset situation. Yes, sir.
Good jab there. Idom in full control right now. 3 rounds in this game number 2. Really close to closing out.
Ooh.
Goes for the stand fierce, hoping that Idom was going to move, not this time. Goes for the legs, finishes with that fireball. Those level 3 fireballs coming out only because of the V trigger. And you can see Idom is just content with just blocking. He's like, you know what? Look, I'll wait out the rest of this trigger because we all know that G will steal that round.
All about that highway robbery.
Goes for a backdash this time, and that was dangerous.
Idom just really picking and choosing his spots when it came to V-Trigger. Now it's all him. Idom gets the play now. Huge advantage. One slight cross-up, and that was all. And he's having a good time on the top right center of your screen there. I said center of your screen? I'm sorry. Top right corner of your screen. Man, I am on fire just like Dawson for the most part with that V-Trigger. He doesn't have it quite yet, but that Yoga Flame comboing him up.
I love this movement coming from Sim. The stasis just to stay up there. Goes for the snipe, gets the stun. Ooh, a little swaggy combo. Teleports into the fireball.
No,
and
don't do it. I told you not to do it. I told you not to do it. I told her not to do it. The clock! No!
No!
Steve is killing me over here. Oh, what a great week so far. This is wild. This actually is some of the best Street Fighter.
I'm telling you, dude.
In a very, very long time.
Lots of back and forth right now. CJ Truth on set point here versus Team Frost.
Calm down over there, Dankadias.
Look at the corner. Back's about to be to the wall for Samurai. Already is on the round count, I tell you that. He needs this round.
Oh, medium kicks, over and over. Both characters trying to find the marks.
This round, like 4 for 4 on the stand medium kicks. Well, maybe like 4 for 6 now.
Oh, big counter hit conversion there from CJ. Plus frames again. Samurai busting out. There's the trigger. Back throw.
Uh-oh.
Keep him locked down. He tried to go for an uppercut, possibly. Critical art, not yet. One more touch though. Samurai can't take it away.
Bust out. I'm trying to get free.
Don't you dive kick him. Don't you dive kick him. He's ready. 30 seconds on the clock.
But still, Samurai getting backed up. That walk speed from Cammy. The buttons. No meter, but trigger available for CJ Truth. Samurai, full CA.
Both these characters just pumping away.
18 seconds left on the clock. CJ Truth has the life lead. So,
activate. Woo.
Go the dash.
Back throw. Run away. Run away from the pain. Don't do it. He went for it.
CJ
Truth.
All right, first match of the set once again sees the target ban on Dual Kevin, forcing him onto his G. Each time we have seen his G this season, however, it's starting to look more and more like he's only completed the trials. Lots of misconfirms and poor optimization has led to losing 0-2 with G twice in 4 weeks, and Dual Kevin's record thus far in Season 2 looking a lot like his former teammate Up to Snuffs from last season. IDOM's Laura continues to impress now that we're seeing it, but is this more about Dual Kevin's inability to perform without Rashid thus far? Mortsy.
It looks... So, Dual Kevin, you can actually kind of tell. He actually has this really funny habit where he hits Fierce twice. If he whiffs the first one, he'll hit it again. Every time. And he does that a lot with Rashid, because obviously that buffer is incredible. And obviously it's very good with G. And then every character that he does... I think he played Ryu at some point, right?
Yep.
He did the double Fierce again. Like, it's just... It seems he's, like, programmed to hit Fierce twice. And that leads me to believe that he's still trying to play Rashid. In a way, he's still trying to play Rashid as the other characters, or at least he has these habits that he hasn't broken, and it's translating to other characters, but the success is sorely lacking. It works a lot on Rashid, I feel like. It doesn't seem to work on... Especially when you're throwing double Fierce out as Ryu. You're not exactly, bringing home the bank if that shit hits.
Mm-hmm.
So... he's right now all he's doing is he looks like a great target for a ban, but if that's not that big a deal when you have Samurai, I think it could be a lot worse. But he's just drawing the G probably better, but if you're drawing bans with Rashid, it's not as big of a deal as it could be. He'll still probably pick up win with the G. I think he's definitely capable of that, but it's not on par of the other G secondaries, I think, that we're seeing. Like, NuckleDo, even though he's basically only been playing, I would consider that, like, that's the kind of level you would want to attain with your G. But if you're dropping shit, man, it's not good. It's better than JB Birdie. That's the standard that we've set. This season, at least, that's the standard that we set. Last season, we'd be comparing it as long as it's better than toys, and we'd be good. But yeah, I think it's better secondary than others that exist in the league. And you have Samurai, who, if you're getting banned, isn't. So it's like a bit of a give and take.
All right, SplicedHelix, you have been enlightened on the G matchup a little bit the more that you've played it, the more that you're thinking about it. You used to have the stance of just hard ban G. It doesn't seem to be the case anymore. What is it about Dual Kevin's G that makes it less fearful than others?
It doesn't feel like he knows that he doesn't feel like he's as comfortable in every situation as somebody who mains G would be. I mean, you're looking at IDOM on Laura against anybody secondary. It's really not the person playing the secondary. I don't care how good you are at the secondary. It's IDOM's Laura. Everybody gets mixed the same way. Somebody I know said that once. I'm pretty sure it was Mortsy.
Pretty sure it was Mortsy too.
That's definitely something that sounds like I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was of the mind to say ban G, and it's not as bad lately. Now it's ban Ibuki. So buy Ibuki, go away. I don't like your shine. I mean, I like you, but I don't like your character. But no, I don't think he really did anything special or mind-boggling with G. It was just cookie cutter out of the box. I'm going to do stuff until I get V-trigger and then hope I win.
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough on that one. Hopefully, we see more out of Dual Kevin's G, because we saw a lot of it kind of last season, or at least at the tail end of last season. It actually looked good. So this is one of those things where it's kind of just mind-boggling that he's performing the way that he is right now. 0-2 with the G, as mentioned, in the past 2 weeks. The second match saw Sherry Genix's Nikali, unfortunately, get completely outclassed by Sabin's Dulcet. Last week, Sabin was similarly outclassed by Mojo's Mika, and had one of our panelists, namely yours truly, asking if Sabin was the weak link on the team. Now with a 50% win rate, with wins against Sherry and Automatic, but losses to Rob TV and Mojo. How much of Team Spirit's success will rely on the New York veteran Sabin pulling his weight? SplicedHelix.
If you've got the bans that you get, Dual Kevin, yes, Dual Kevin's good, but you ban Samurai, and somebody's got to be in that second spot. And if Dual Kevin's just going to get, if his Rashid's not going to be the thing, it's got to be Sherry, or not. I mean, it's got to be Samurai. So if Samurai's banned, and am I talking about the right team?
No, you're not.
No.
You missed the spot here. We're talking about Arturo
Okay.
pulling his weight. Yeah.
No, if
Thought you were coming around to like a carrying point, but
yeah, it was getting there. It was in there somewhere. But I think everybody on the team, if you can't be a threat, it turns into your strategy gets thinner. So you only have 2 people to focus on instead of 3. So yeah, if he's gonna be in there taking people out that you might not think you would take out, or
just turn the heater on.
or losing to people that you don't think you should lose to, then it becomes a problem because it narrows down the field for the rest of the team. But he's 50-50, so you have to take him into account. So if he pulls his weight, it's much better than if he doesn't, and if he doesn't, then it makes it much easier for everybody else.
Mortsy, what are you thinking about Sabin's play so far? And is he pulling his weight right now?
I think it's kind of funny because I would say he's the weak link on his team, which is totally fine considering his teammates are IDOM and CJ Truth.
Mm-hmm.
If he's the weakest point on his team, then I think you guys are in a good spot despite the fact that they're not in a good spot. I mean, they're 2-2. It could be a far, far worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that big a deal. I think he's doing fine. His losses are both to tough matchups. Mika and Karen, I'm imagining.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not... And Dalsum is the kind of character where you've got the very polarizing matchups. And in this case, there actually aren't a lot of characters where the polarization is on his side. There's actually, especially most of the people here are playing the top tier characters. Nakali, obviously, actually a character that you'd expect to beat Sim in general. But if your weakest link is the guy who standing consistently wins or places top 2 NLBC, I think you're doing okay. And he's winning. The fact that he's winning games and just taking the load off of any of his teammates is still that he's doing better than other weaker links of other teams. They just need to pull out. They all just need to keep doing what they can. Everyone has to do that, so I'm not really making a point. But yeah, he's pulling his weight. He's doing fine.
And that's what I was talking about. That if he's doing as well as even 50-50. You can't focus on Idom Laura and you can't focus on CJ's Cammy. You have to take into account all 3 of them.
Okay. And then we talked a little bit before the show about target bans for this particular team, Team Spirit. Are you surprised that Dalsum hasn't been selected as of yet for a ban to try and snake out that free win off of Arturo?
I think he will be eventually. Just somebody will take that shot.
I think Arturo's a better ban than CJ. Frankly, I don't know if the last question is talking about the bans, because if that's the case, I want to hold on to it and then talk about it, so I don't cover everything.
Hold on to it a little bit, because we do address the ban a little bit. I think Arturo's definitely a better ban than banning any of CJ's characters, just because his CJ gets banned, and then you go to Cammy or Karen, right? Depending on who isn't banned. Arturo's banned, and he goes to what? Falk? He's a sim player. Not saying anything about Sim,
because frankly, the other sim player in this league plays quite a few characters. And the other sim player in SoCal also plays a lot of characters, or at least he plays Colleen rather well.
Yeah, Sakura as well.
Street Fighter 4.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, so I think Arturo's probably the weaker, or the better band. Sorry, weaker player in terms of depth.
Okay.
And
Who plays just one character?
along the same style of character as well, which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the third match real quick. Then once again in the OCV reversed sweep position, Samurai was looking poised to make another monumental comeback for his team, the potential third of the season. In his way, a very game CJ Truth, whose Karen was banned despite looking relatively suspect in the course of the first 4 weeks of SFL Pro US. NuckleDo even called it a, quote, Season 1 Karen in the coaching session where he was looking for the V-trigger off of Stan Roundhouse. Just, that's it. Bringing out his tried and true Cammy for the first time this season, CJ took down Samurai Zakuma in the way Samurai has beaten many in the past with incredible patience and resolve, which is one of those things that you don't normally associate with CJ Truth. Are you surprised at the band selection from Team Frost? And did CJ show something special in returning to his previous main in Cammy? Mortsy.
Yes, I'm very surprised in the Karen ban. I don't know. I find the thing about Karen's matchups is she doesn't necessarily demolish anyone. She doesn't just like absolutely destroy anyone due to like certain elements of her game plan. She just plays neutral, wins neutral, and then tick throws you to death. And that isn't like a game plan that selectively destroys everyone. It's just she's really good at it. It's like she does light kick 3 times and burn off of every single one. Like that's the kind of character that we're looking at. So she's a very strong character, but I don't know if you target ban her, especially when you have, outside of like Punk, who obviously is more threatening in a character he's comfortable with. I think CJ, if you're going to play patient, you want to do it on, like, the fact that he played Cammy here, I'm not surprised at all. Honestly, I would rather him, even if they banned another person, I would have rathered see the Cammy anyways, just because there's so much patience. Though the Karen would probably also do very well, and I'd imagine he might actually do it, to be able to absolutely blow up Akuma when he gets a chance to, and the pressure is obviously very good. But it just, like, you play Akuma's game or not Akuma, you play Samurai's game where you slow it down, and he was totally content to just poke with medium kick over and over again. And Karen kind of has a similar thing, but I think Cammy's goes a little further. Mm-hmm. It was awesome to see someone play Samurai's game and beat him. And I think that might be the way people are going to have to go about it. Because brute forcing your way through that's probably not going to do super great when you get EX Fireballed a bunch. Air EX Fireball, because that's how he stops everyone from moving forward. But I'm really happy to see CJ play Cammy, because it just looks so comfortable. It doesn't feel like there's any real mistakes ever, which is great. And that's what you need.
All right, SplicedHelix, talk to me about CJ coming back to Cammy after 4 weeks of Karen. And how do you feel about how he played Cammy this time around?
I think he just went back to exactly what he was comfortable with. I think he was happy with it. I was surprised the way he played. I like that he flipped the script on Samurai and just said, I can wait too. My down back works just as well as yours does. And honestly, I think that might have tripped Samurai up just a little bit. Not a whole lot, because it's still Samurai. But if you're not used to that, if you're used to playing your game as I'm going to be patient and wait for you to make a mistake, and the other person's just like, well, I'm going to be more patient and just get a life lead and force you to play my game, that's something I don't think we saw that at all in season 1. I don't think anybody just sat back and played Samurai's game against Samurai. So I think he was comfortable. You know, it's his main, and I think he played it exactly the way he needed to.
Yeah, I think the only time we actually saw that in season 1 was when Samurai first pulled that script on Justin Wong. It's sort of like the same thing here with CJ Truth pulling this on Samurai, who pulled this on Justin Wong. So it's like a little bit of continuity there, and it's really interesting that a Team Spirit captain is who's pulling it on Samurai.
True.
So
Yeah, a Cammy.
yeah, and a Cammy
One thing
on top of that.
I think we need to note, though, is that playing against Samurai, Samurai enables this style for his opponent.
Correct.
If that makes sense. So because he's also trying to play slow, it's like, all right, this is a free ticket to just sit back and play the slow game. I think most other players are going to try to accelerate the game pace, whereas Samurai, and then it's on you to slow it down. But with Samurai, there's an established precedent to be like, I'm playing this slow. You can do what you want, but you have to do it better than I am because I'm pretty good at it. So it's not necessarily on CJ, but it's enabled by Samurai.
All right, that will close out the first match of week number 5. Let's go into the second one. The second match of week 5 was a battle of the basement, and I'm not used to saying that with one of these particular teams. Apparently, you can't spell basement in Street Fighter Pro League US without Psycho. Since last season, a losing streak spanning 13 consecutive matches. Smug, Dankadias, and Automatic on paper might have the deepest roster on SFL. But Dankadias is the only one dipping into his pool of characters, with Automatic sticking to his Sagat and Smug either being target banned or easily dispatched. The other side of the coin, unfortunately for SplicedHelix's team Inferno, off to a terrible start in Season 2 as reigning and defending SFL Pro US Season 1 champions, with no turnaround in sight. The best in the world Punk has looked vulnerable, presenting a whole new definition to the Punk problem. Brawly Legs has been unable to close out games, and JB, like Smug, either target banned or forced to carry the load. Teams seem to be prepared to take down the champs. Here are your highlights from Psycho versus Inferno.
Sigh.
Suddenly, a set point right here coming up for Smug. Oh.
He was holding that forever. We don't see tap too often anymore. They nerfed the hell out of it. Oh my god. Juggling. Just keep juggling.
Using that B skill. You see Smug just back up. Give Chun-Li a little room. Dash punch to get right back in. Trigger is available. Tries to go for the sweep on the whiff punish. Gets hit by EX legs. There's the activation. Goes for a little shimmy. Was not prepared to get the full conversion after the crouching medium kick hit.
Was a good block on the overhead. Smug getting his turn back. Opening for the V trigger. Reset into the throw. What's up next? EX spinning bird.
Oh, wow, he lucked out. The EX upper, kind of low profile, but still not going to be enough to stop the round. Trigger hit. That's it. That's all it took.
What an interesting decision. I mean, in between that string, he did Angry Scar. I'm really curious as to what the decision was behind that. And now, Automatic, although being tied up to Punk in this game, he still has to reclaim this momentum.
Whoa.
The whiff punch, I'm telling you, that Stand Strong has such a wide hitbox going forward on it.
I think it's, yeah, I also feel like some of the normals that Automatic is using is definitely helpful in the situation, but not in this one. It's going to be 2-0 for Team Inferno, Punk versus Automatic. W here at Street Fighter League.
Again, they still have to worry about the team captain of Team Inferno awaiting the bleachers, I guess, once they're hanging out in this seat. Oh, trying to get the command grab. I understand that. Dankadias backdashing out to safety. Good
Yeah, but a little
there.
too far. That crouching fear I mean, he backed up, so he didn't get the combo, so I guess that worked out for JB too. I like to confirm, JB trying to get something started, goes for the splat, and that has, wow.
Under there, yeah, you can low profile it, yep. Dawson, one of those characters with the mobility. Cook him up, and here comes that reset. Keep him locked down. The V reversal immune to the fire.
Dang, these anti-airs are sharp. Back into the corner. I like that idea. JB knows that if he can get Dawson and keep him honest in this corner, he can steal this round, but he needs it to stay alive.
One more touch, actually, from Negadias. Oh, he thought he was going to go for the snipe. He went for the legs instead.
Oh no, he had the hit.
Oh, no!
And that's not going to work.
It's what the damage?
So much damage.
You're not a fan?
I'm definitely not a fan.
Oh, jeez.
I think you beat me up too much with this character. I'm
I
pretty
don't know
sure
about
that's
that. You started getting a lot of wins towards the end of our set. But anyways, Punk is just been immaculate with the confirms, as expected. Speaking of which, another one, a jab exclusive right there. Crouch, jab, counter hit into the stand strong sequence.
Oh, gets the crush. Look, man, that took off a chunk.
He's still pressing buttons on Wake Up, by the way. Smug hasn't thrown out that meaty yet.
This next situation could spell the end. He's definitely in kill range right now. Any combo can definitely kill. I mean, maybe not a two-hitter.
I wonder, yeah, I was going to say, is he going to try to do the shoulder?
Activate. Smug needs to do something right now. Full CA available in the stand.
And the counter
strong.
hit. Lord Denkamadillas. Oh, big God, Aggie! Grab my hand, Steve! Grab my hand! Stop getting my wrist! You're gonna break me! Okay, you squeeze too hard! Let go! Let go! It hurts! It burns!
You told me.
Denkamadillas sitting on a perfect right now. Punk hasn't found the answer, but again, it's never over until it's over, Steve. Got the opening in this corner, the meaty's there. Reset.
Dude, look at the damage.
Catch the stun. It's not gonna
over.
kill.
It's
He needs one more reset off the Tenko. He almost got it. Denkamadillas. Activation. Let it rip. He got it. One more touch. He does have future trigger available. He got him. Denkamadillas reverses the curse. He takes down Team Inferno.
All right, similarly to his previous strategy against Team Frost, Smug opted to ban Rashid in this matchup and targeted JB, and forced to go onto his Balrog with G being the ban from Team Inferno. After a very dominant showing over Brawly Legs and Punk's win over Automatic, we got the matchup that many on paper were looking forward to, Smug versus Punk. As you saw in the highlights, however, the match didn't exactly live up to the hype, as Punk seemingly easily handled the mayor of Duff City. The stat line for Smug to this point in Street Fighter League Pro US, 2-4. Are you shocked at his performance so far, SplicedHelix?
Not really. I mean, he's been on G so much that his Balrog's still, one of the best in the world, but he's got a lot more hours logged on G lately. So, and it's Punk, so you don't toss your main in there. He's gonna most of the time he's gonna run away with it. Most of the time. Can I just say? I know we're gonna cover it later, but two of those matches, both the last two matches that we watched, were one mistake away from.
SplicedHelix, your commentary bias is showing. All right, Mortsy.
No, it's not a secret.
I'd like to start with almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and clearly not in the SFL.
Yep.
All right, talk to me about Smug, Mortsy. Are you shocked at his performance so far?
Smug's been like the target of few bans and put it on this Balrog. And the issue with Balrog, I think, is the matchup spread isn't very good. He doesn't handle a lot of the matchups very well. I don't think he's gotten any that are clearly in his favor as of yet. I'm gonna have to go back when we do this mid-season stat thing next week. I'll make sure that I'm telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think a big part, like obviously G is very good. I think at the time that he has gotten to play G was Knuckle-Dew. I don't know if has he played G outside of Knuckle-Dew?
Yeah, just the mirror. I think that was it. he was
Yeah,
banned
in
every
which
other time.
case, that's the mirror. That
Yeah.
shit is volatile as hell. Though he did do that really, really cool sequence, I think I remember, where he overheaded. Was it the same? Was that or was that a Twitter? I can't remember. Anyway, when he did the overhead a bunch of times. But yeah, so Smog's doing fine considering that he keeps getting thrown in bad matchups. What's really nice though, because they're opening. Again, obviously you want to get rid of G. He can sweep, but Dank is free to do what he wants, which is also just super nice. He just needs to, like, cause Sim, no one in this league is probably comfortable against Sim except for like IDOM. And when they can protect that Dank with a ban, it works out really nicely. So I think Smog's doing fine. I think he also brings a lot to his team as a person and as a captain. So I think a lot of what we're seeing isn't going to necessarily also as well. A lot of the positive that Smog can do isn't necessarily tangible. Performance-wise, he's doing all right considering the matchup stuff.
Okay. Let's talk about Automatic for a second. 4 weeks in, and despite the hype about how deep his character pool is, we've still yet to see anything else but Sagat from the fan favorite Automatic. We see week 1?
We saw Honda week 1. And in
the exhibition, yeah. Okay. Another match, another defeat for Automatic, though this time it was, of course, against Punk. His record after this loss is even more staggering than Smug's. It's 0-4 in SFL Pro US Season 2 so far. Is it time to jump into the pool and go with a different character if you're Automatic? And as a fan, which character would you like to see him go with? Mortsy.
Obviously, he wants to pick the character that gives him the best opportunity to win. I think that's very clear, and I think right now that's
Mm-hmm.
Does this chair go any lower? I think it's definitely Sagat for him right now. Especially Sagat deals with neutral decently well. It's defense that tends to suffer. I think though, despite Automatic, because Dank and Automatic were picked back to back. Automatic being the first. Was he? Oh, I can't remember the ban orders. He was the second vote in to be picked.
Yeah, because all of the online warriors were picked first, and then going back the other way, it was he would be the first one. Automatic was the first.
He would have been the first one.
Yeah.
So I think based on his pick, mind you, based on who's in the pool, I think he's doing fine. Based on where he was picked, I think he's underperforming. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Everyone's following along.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I want to see him play. That was the kind of his draw, right? Is the fact that he could bring all these cool new characters. The issue is I don't think any of them cover good matchups. You know, there's no I have this. It's not like Dank, because Dank's spread of characters is intent. There's intent behind every single character in terms of matchup spread. But with Automatic, it just kind of seems his matchup spread or his intent is this character was new, and so I played it for a long time and labbed really hard. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. He knows these characters inside out. He knows setups and frame kills that not a lot of us know. He's got spreadsheets for these characters. But that doesn't lend to the matchups that he's getting tossed into. I mean, bro, you're going against Punk. You do your best. But so underperforming in terms of pick, but I think he's doing fine in terms of actual play. I would love to see Zeku, because that was the first when I started watching Automatic. That was the character. But if he doesn't pull it out because he's not comfortable, obviously I love Sagat, bro. I literally saw Sagat and swooned when in that outfit, in the CPT outfit, bro. It looks so swanky. It looks so good. Yeah, so I think he's doing fine. He's on the Sherry tier for me, where if they pick up a win, fantastic, right? That's the kind of how I feel about it. There are some players in the league who I'm just if they win, that's great, but the expectations aren't super high. And that's fine. Sometimes you just got to fill that role and try and you're the scrapper. You know, you try and pick up the wins where you can to help your teammates, and that's fine. That's totally fine.
SplicedHelix, talk to me about Automatic. Talk to me about Sagat, and talk to me about who you'd rather see him play instead.
I mean, the dude is I mean, to me, he's random select the player. Random select the player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who I'd rather see him use. I like his Sagat. I think that if you're going up against Punk, you're going to play exactly who your solid main, the one you're most comfortable with, the person you think can cover, you know, different options, and you have the best chance to convert any and everything with, because you're going up against Punk. I don't think the Sagat pick was bad. I don't think by any means it was an off pick. And yeah, I'd love to see him dive into the character pool. I'd love it, but I don't think it was going to happen against Inferno just because of Punk.
All right, so let's talk about the main event of this particular matchup, and we're talking about the reverse of the curse. After 13 consecutive losses between 2 seasons for Team Psycho, friend of the show Dankadius reversed the curse in week 5. Smug set the table with a win over Brawly Legs, and Dankadius showed his poise and matchup experience against both Mika, despite being far in the deep end of JB's character pool, and Punk's Karen in a very tight set that came down to making reads despite almost pulling what I like to call, from Vancouver Street Battle, a Mortsy and going too aggressive with a huge lead. How impressed were you with Dankadius' play? And
I don't like that one.
How impressed were you with Dankadius' play? And do you think we will see some more bans of Dhalsim in the future to stop him, SplicedHelix?
You just sigh. I suppose if anybody had to, you know, allow the curse to be broken, I said allow. I said it. You know, it would be the champs from last year. It's like, you know, we took that whole thing last season, so we'll go ahead and give you, and yes, I said give you a win, you know, so you can break your curse. And I hated everything about
very
it.
generous.
I hated
very
it.
generous.
This is
so generous.
This is crap, man. Crap. But you know, even the Patriots lose to the Dolphins. So
okay, we got real sports in this esports question.
You know, I'm done with analytics for this match. This is stupid. I'm gonna leave.
Mortsy, talk to me about Dankadius and Dhalsim. How do you feel?
So one hit and two for.
Dank, obviously, probably. I think it's probably pretty clear at this point, at least in terms of visibility, or who's visible on the character. Dank is the best in the world at V-Trigger for Sim. I think that's probably pretty easy to say. He manipulates so well, dude. It's so sick. It's very fluid. The fireball feels like an extension, and the way he's able to carry it, regardless, like he just seems so comfortable with it, which is really cool to see. I think on Psycho, you're not banning Sagat, so I think he is the clear other ban that teams will be doing this season. We've already seen Gale do it, and I think he actually he's probably the best person to ban in terms of matchup familiarity for the entire league, because he's the first and only Dhalsim.
Art.
No, Dank won first before Art got in.
Okay. Okay.
Technicalities.
Okay.
So not only, but he was the first Sim. So people aren't going to be comfortable with that matchup outside of people from SoCal and people from NLBC, because obviously they've played against Dank and Saban, though I think they're very different Dhalsim.
Oh yeah.
Definitely a character where the player expression is a lot more evident.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to be the target of the ban for the rest of the season. It's just how the teams are going to balance that out. between. I think he's still a better ban despite having so many secondaries. I don't think they're on the same level as Smug G and Smug Balrog. I think the Sim is above one of them, but I think the rest are probably a little bit below. It's just nice because he can flex so well for certain matches. Because I think if you ban Dank Dhalsim, he's like, okay, how do I pick up at least one win? And he can do that by picking particularly for that matchup, one which he will be comfortable in. Yeah, so Dank's great. I'm really glad that he's seeing success. That's really exciting. Especially because of as literally every single interview points out, it's his first Street Fighter.
That's kind of crazy that it is his first Street Fighter game.
So someone who's technically new to the scene have success against established professionals. And I mean, he's obviously not new to Dank because he's been having success for a while now. Yeah. But it's cool seeing on this stage because I mean he did it at the LCQ. Yeah. That was like the first kind of taste, but now it's cool seeing it in the show.
Yeah. All right, SplicedHelix said he was done talking about it, so I'm not going to ask him anymore about Team Inferno. At least for now. At least for now. We're going to get into more, of course, with this mega episode. Let's talk about the closeout for Week 5, which saw the undefeated Team Gale taking on Team Storm. The final match of Week 5 was a battle for league supremacy as Season 1 runners-up and Season 2 standings leader Team Gale took on the upstart and exuberant Team Storm. Both teams were coming off 3-0 sweeps in Week 4 and were looking to continue their winning ways. Gale has shown to be a strong team strategically, while Team Storm have simply found ways to win with their scrappiness and surprisingly great work from characters that most are inexperienced with. Lucia for 801 Strider and Poison from Mojo. Here are your highlights from Gale versus Storm.
I think about as soon as I see the headbutt like that, big time punish. You know, it just happens, man.
Big time jump in coming from Tommy Two-Step, and he's got the corner. Oh wow, he was ready with the whip, got the counter hit as well, and the side switch.
That was so deep. I didn't think the EX single was still gonna allow him to get the side switch.
Dashes up once again. No check this time from Rob TV. Coral punch. Oh man, he's ready. He's too ready to check these dashes.
And again, he knows that Tommy likes to be very mobile, right? So Rob TV is making sure he throws out these normals, quick normals at that, to check him on the way over.
Okay, mirror. Okay. Gonna get a small combo here. Goes for the reset instead. Takes the throw. Sends out the other mirror. Yo, he is ready.
Dang!
Yo, he is so ready. Dashing up. Just disrespecting the space. Finally puts out a crouching strong.
Plus frames?
No meter this time. No meter usage this time. Rob is working on a CA and not even gonna need it. Makes quick work of Tommy Two-Step. Two rounds and now making it 3. Could be 4, and if so, that's the end of this battle for Mojo. Oh, gets to confirm. Crouching strong, gonna get the corner as well. Parabellum hand Soreoki. Just jumps out. Confirm with that crouch jab, gets that high heel kick.
Oh, dang.
And the side switch, too.
That's a lot of damage, yeah.
Uh-oh, this is going to hurt. Back to the corner, no.
Is there an option for you to throw him back to the corner with the...
Might have to do a different combo. Yeah, because it seems like she always throws you forward.
Dang, he called it out! Oh, not quite critical art. Oh, okay, now he has it.
Oh, the EX vanity step on wake up roundhouse.
The V reversal.
And that's the kind of character he's playing. That character literally can come back from anything, especially with triggers active.
I flinched. I thought it was gonna be a crush, or excuse me, an anti-air.
I definitely was looking for empty jump low.
Oh my
no
goodness.
Anti-air.
It's hard. With Cammy, it's so difficult. Oh boy.
Oh, the wheel kick. There you go. And that's what I mean about those fireballs. Pressure not
looking good. It is. Yeah, crouch fierce, excuse me. Oh, can't do it again. Knuckle Dew is taken to the skies so many times. One more sequence and it's over. Can Knuckle Dew close it out? He sure does. Another sweep on the side of Team Gale, putting themselves at 4-0.
Oh,
All right. First game of the set saw Rob TV showing a very strong defensive game against Tommy Two-Step. Rob TV definitely showed his experience in the Urian matchup with his care, particularly with the use of the V-reversal to stop any kind of offensive flow that the mobile Tommy Two-Step was trying to get started. The end result was a 2-0 victory. In 4 weeks of gameplay, only Team Psycho has banned Karen from Team Gale thus far. Did Rob TV prove that his Karen is a force to be reckoned with and worthy of a target ban, Mortsy?
That's tough, actually. I don't see teams doing it when you have, because Shinabuki is like the main, like, this is the character that's probably going to take up 5 ban. That's pretty clear. I don't actually, what's really interesting, I don't think we're going to see all 3 players get banned on any for the whole season. I think, and that's actually really interesting because it kind of shows, I could see maybe Spirit. That's the only one I could maybe see. Because actually no, they will, because we've seen. I can see. We've already had Laura banned. We've already had Karen banned. So, and I think a team will ban, or already has. They might have already banned Dulzum. I can see that totally. But I just don't see it, and it's not due to due to Rob TV's, like, God, it looks so good. It looks great. He's still on Johnny's color, mind you. It's like the best color though. God, it's so nice.
A really good color.
But at the same time, when you have character specialists maybe on your team, yeah, at least Shine. Dude's kind of hard to. He's a roster specialist. And I just don't see like people banning out the Karen. I think it's still looking super, super good, and it keeps getting better every time we see it. Because obviously Rob is very good. That reaction on the dash at the end there with the confirm on the counter hit was spectacular. Also, goddamn, is Karen's command dash, being able to mix it up with a frame trap is super dumb. I think that's probably my least. I don't even care about the tick throws. Let her have the 3 light kicks and the crouch medium kick, or in the walk forward throw. I'm fine with that. The fact that she gets a mix up on a command dash is kind of lame. Could you imagine if Fang could cancel, like, he already can cancel the slide into cower crouch. Could you imagine if he could just do it and it's a frame trap from moves? You know, mind you, they'd have to make it minus suck. But
can you imagine if Nash had a wake up EX?
I mean, yeah, we're talking we're talking theoretical, so yeah, we could. But yeah, I just think Karen. I don't see Rob warranting a ban, but it doesn't mean that he's not super good. If he was on another team, I could see people banning. But because he's on Gale, there's higher priority ban.
All right, SplicedHelix, talk to me about Rob TV. How dangerous is this Karen? And should you even consider looking at taking him out of the equation?
I mean, you know how I feel about Ibuki. She's replaced my ban G spot, you know. So, given the choice, I'm always going to ban Ibuki. But Rob is solid. He's solid. Out of that entire team, he's the most bedrock player on their team. The other 2 are kind of, you know, Shine's volatile because he's not going to have Ibuki half the time, and he's like, what do I do? And Dude's all over the place. You know, he plays a whole bunch of characters, and any given Sunday, he's gonna either be fantastic or he's gonna be not. And Rob is just, he's solid all the way through.
Consistent.
Whether it's Gala or Karen, more so on Karen, but that's just how the game goes now because they nerfed Gala into the ground. But I want my slow boom back. But yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with. I don't see people targeting him over Ibuki, but it might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, all things considered, with the new ban rules, that there might just be a window for any team to start saying, hey, look, we don't want to face Rob TV's Karen, and Psycho already did that, so that's one out of the 5 other teams that could do it. Mortsy.
Why did we see Guile again?
Because
Karen wasn't banned.
Karen was banned in that matchup. That was the Psycho matchup, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So they did.
yeah, that was the only time that we saw Guile out of Rob TV.
Questionable.
Yeah, we talked about that in the episode as well. The questionable ban of Karen, but now we're seeing this absolute terror potentially from Rob
And
TV.
Psycho banned Karen this week too. They're just like, Karen, I
Maybe
never
they
want
just
to
don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I guess not. This week,
I love to see them ban Karen on a week where the other team doesn't have a Karen.
that would be funny. Just because they don't want to face it.
I mean, it's smug. You might get it.
All right.
True.
Let's move on to the next topic before we go way off base here. This week saw Shine and Mojo as targets for the bans, and the player order seemingly fell into the lap of Team Gale once again. Shine uses tournament experience to take down the more than game Mojo, whose poison continues to impress. Shine was able to adjust after losing the first game and making many significant callouts with the command counter in the final round for the finish with his Colleen. How significant was this first win for Shine's Colleen? And along with Rob TV's Guile last week, how dangerous is Team Gale when the bans aren't effectively hindering Rob TV or Shine with their solid secondaries? SplicedHelix.
I think it's just a testament to the team makeup itself. I don't see Shine's Colleen as oh my gosh, it's so good and look at what he did. It was poison. So regardless of not having the matchup knowledge against the character, that also means that the person playing him doesn't have as much experience either. So I don't think it was a case of oh my gosh, this Colleen is so good. It was just he's fighting poison and look at the call out that may have been a guess that worked out pretty well. That's where I'm at on that.
All right, I mean, he did land 3 command counters, so I'm going to assume that there was a little more than just a guess. Mortsy, how do you feel about the secondaries on Team Gale, and how dangerous is this team when they're not making questionable banning decisions and character selections?
I really like. Well, I talked last season about Gale's depth, and that's only improved because Shine got a new character that's a little bit higher in the tier list. Actually, something that I thought was really interesting, because you mentioned that there's not a lot of matchup experience, but Shine had the wherewithal on the character, on Colleen, a character that he's supposedly not familiar with, against a character he's supposedly not familiar playing against, to high parry the second hit of the V skill. So I thought that was very, very smart. Knowing there's a gap, knowing you can actually, knowing that you can hit it, knowing that he wouldn't empty jump, obviously, but that's less a character. I think now that Shine has a deeper pocket, obviously it's super important for him to have a deeper character set, because he's the one who's going to get banned as a character specialist and as a high tier character specialist. Sorry, automatic. But obviously, like, it's nice that Rob has a secondary, but we literally just talked about how we're not going to be seeing it very often, because I would imagine we're going to see more of the Guile if they choose to ban Karen. And that might happen if Gale chooses to ban Karen. That could happen against the second time against Inferno. But I think didn't we already do this though? They've already played Inferno, and then Rob played Kali.
No, that was last season. He hasn't played Nikali this season yet.
He hasn't?
Not yet.
I'm gonna double check that, but okay.
Well, I mean, we're doing
I don't believe you.
We're doing a stats show. We will go through all of it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. So I think it speaks to their depth, the fact that they've actually increased it since last season. Obviously, the issue, their depth could be great, but they still need to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they have high tier depth is also very, very important. High tier, volatile depth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is okay. for the record, I don't think it's necessarily related to the question. Actually, I'll save it for the next one. I'll talk about it after because I just had a funny thought while I was watching the clip.
Okay. Let's talk about the closeout game real quick. Closeout game for Team Gale fell to Team Captain NuckleDu and his Cammy as he clashed with 801 Strider's G. Having been maining G over the last few weeks, NuckleDu took full advantage of Cammy's ability to press offensively in a matchup that looked like a straight counter pick. We've now seen 3 characters in NuckleDu's arsenal in the last 4 weeks. G twice, Mika, and now Cammy. All of them were dominant. We've had MVP discussions before in the past for the previous season. This season has NuckleDu silently proven to be the strongest player thus far. Mortsy.
I actually don't think there's another person outside the other one I could think of in terms of, obviously there's Samurai giving himself a very strong case, especially because his Ryu secondary has actually been doing work. Tommy's two-step is another one that I actually think is probably worthy of at least talking about because he's shown such good play despite, I think, expectations not being as high as you'd think for him. But I think Du is probably the clear front runner just because winning consistently, the cohesion in his character selection or between the characters that he has chosen to play is so strong, and it's not just like, oh yeah, they cover each other's matchups really well. It's a play style, and I think we brought this up before, or someone else has like really talked about this in depth, probably Sage. But where you have Guile, who plays very slowly. Some Guiles play very slowly. You're zoning with booms. You know, it's not a high pace necessarily, a high tempo game. And then he goes to Mika, and they're like, shit. And now he's jumping in on you. He's splashing. He's command grabbing. So you have the slow tempo. And this is less so in this, I guess, but more in actual tournaments, is he can swap that tempo at will. And that's really tough to deal with. And the fact that he can also do that here, where you can't go in expecting a certain style of play. At least with Samurai, you can go, he's going to slow it down. We're going to be playing a long round. With Du, it's like, spin the wheel. How are we playing this? Or how are we playing this set? So the fact that you're playing Wheel of Fortune every single time you go up to play against Du is so scary. So we'll see how he performs. He's won. I think he's I don't know if he's lost yet.
He's 4-0.
Has he?
He's 4-0 to this point, what we're talking about right now. So
yeah. So he's doing fantastic. So it's obviously he's a clear front runner for.
Yeah, SplicedHelix talked to me about NuckleDu. Like this is an MVP discussion, right?
Well, yes and no. As far we're talking MVP, most valuable player, not most impressive player. Du is NuckleDu. He is wiping the floor with everybody. But if you're looking at the top team, which is Team Gale, if you're looking at them and you're looking at, this is the top team, the MVP is going to come from this team, I will go with Rob. Simply because he allows for NuckleDu to do whatever NuckleDu wants. Because he's that core of, I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of and maybe a little bit extra so that you can play however you need to play in order for that to work. So having that, no, you hold on, Mortsy.
That's why I put my hand up, just to say that I have a rebuttal.
You put that in front of him where if they take out G and you can't play G, you have Cammy, you have Mika, and if you want, you have Guile. But Rob's going to come, right behind that and be like, I got this. I got at least one, maybe two of them. So you can pick whoever you want, and the balance is still going to be there. So having the most valuable player for that team, the one that allows the building blocks to all fall into place, I give it to Rob. If you want the most impressive player, yes, give it to Du. Easy.
I just need to point out that it feels like you two flipped your positions based on last season. You guys absolutely, because last season.
I'm talking about how Idom enables Samurai for the whole time. I'm like, and now completely swapped.
Both of you have done an absolute 180 when it comes to this opinion on most valuable, and we are definitely going to talk about this when we do the stats show. I just wanted to point that out. But go ahead, Mortsy, finish your thing.
My point that I forgot about, until I had forgotten about who won this match, because I was thinking about it the next week match. So the fact that this is the kind of character that G is. For the whole round that Strider was getting his ass beat in, I'm thinking, man, you just never know like how bad the round's going. It's never over until G. Because I literally thought like, oh yeah, Strider won this game. So, the whole time, and it was plausible until he died. Like I was thinking, oh yeah, he's just gonna come back, and then he gets back. I'm like, oh yeah, right, they get 3-0'd.
Yeah.
So, they named the character wrong. It shouldn't be G. It should be comeback.
Yeah.
V-Trigger the character is what I called G, of course.
So I think,
earlier.
But yeah, I thought that was very, very ironic considering the argument for MVP as of last season.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny. I'm glad Toga realized it as well. That was really funny.
So I think the more interesting thing here as we close out week number 5 is if you take a look at how dominating the wins on Team Gale have been. It feels like Team Gale could have been this last season if not for that one very random weird decision that NuckleDo made in character select and in the bans in that one matchup that gave them their first loss last season, or their second loss last season, excuse me. And now we're going into this one where we're seeing a very, very scary and very, very dominant Team Gale. We'll have to see if that moves forward as we move on to next week. Welcome to part 2 of the mega episode. I got more spiel. But let's talk the standings first going into this week number 6. In first, Team Gale at 4-0. And then everybody else is 500 and lower. That's kind of scary. Team Storm.
That should be wild.
Yeah. Team Storm, Team Spirit, Team Frost, all at 2-2. And then, because of the reversed curse, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, Team Psycho in 5th. And Team Inferno at the bottom of the standings going into week 6. Today
you don't have to emphasize that.
Oh, I do. I really do.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Okay.
It's already happened.
All right.
Telling it like it is, man.
Today on BTF, the mega episode part 2. Pogo, and we're not talking corn dogs, is the best in the world back. And verbal jousting? Frost versus Gale gets heated. A reminder, video footage from Street Fighter League Pro US is used with permission from Capcom. Follow the Capcom Pro Tour and Street Fighter League on Twitch at twitch.tv/CapcomFighters, on YouTube at youtube.com/CapcomFightersTV, and on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CapcomFighters. Week 6 starts with a banger. Team Storm was looking to bounce back after the drumming at the hands of Team Gale, which you just saw earlier, while Team Psycho, reversed the curse. And I'm going to say that one more time. Reversed the curse and was looking to continue their winning ways. Something I thought I'd never say on this show based on the first season and a half. Winning ways and Team Psycho. Winning way and Team Psycho. Here are your highlights from Week 6, Match 1. This is Team Storm versus Team Psycho.
Off of that one hit conversion, but slightly missed it. You saw the roundhouse come out. Or V-trigger, for that matter.
Well, got a counter hit. We've seen Tommy two-step convert a lot of his crouching medium punches, his crouching strongs into big damage.
Using the target combo as like a way to charge in that tackle is so smart. Nice tech from Dankadias. Tommy two-step trying to take advantage right now. That was the previous roundhouse.
Another throw.
Do it again. Oh, backs away. Smart decision. Doesn't want to overcommit.
Crouching medium kick.
Or overextend, excuse me.
Almost winding down right now. Dankadias in trouble. The jump back fierce and the double crouching jab. The only round one without a throw right there in front of you.
Last little bit of health. He could have made the comeback. Smug sitting at 2 bars. Mojo just about there as well. Big jump in from the splash on Smug. Corner carry. Presidentiality level up. V-reversal hasn't hit the mark so far with Mojo's V-reversal, keeping himself contained in this corner.
Oh. Nice. Dive kick definitely helping him out. Goes for the EX. That's heavily punishable. So you know Smoke was hitting the button right there. EX catapult. Using a lot of meter on that combo. V-reversal. Look at the stun bar. Mojo gets one more hit. Tries to use it. Look at the conversion. No meter spent. Could have had it. And the jump back.
Gosh.
From taking it from an 801 strike.
He's fine. He's just fine. Match point. Automatic.
Stand light kick. Spins a little meter on top of that. Gets the counter hit convert.
I like that.
Oh, no.
I like that. Yeah. Crouch jab buffer. Here we go. 801
like
Strider. Got the presidentiality level. He's going to try to play the fireball game once again.
Like I said, I don't think this is going to work out in your favor versus Sagat. I mean, your fireball game is good, G, but I'm saying.
Oh, that's the king. Dunk him.
Oh, he's just walking up to him so confidently. Okay, that was a swing in the dark. Gets the low, but there's the activation. If any character can run this back,
EX Tiger.
You better respect it.
Oh, man.
Automatic. All we got to do is hit it once.
To normals, right? And your fireballs. I'm gonna throw out this Aegis as a punish, and I like that idea. It's very unorthodox. Normally we see it done off of a normal, but Tommy two-step taking it to the next level now. Oh, get off!
Going for the low this time around. Blocks the EX shoulder tackle.
Nice check.
Just inching forward. Oh, the
uppercut. Oh my, take your turn back. My leg.
Oh my God, the new Sagat is so sick.
Uppercut, please.
Oh my God.
Oh no. That would have been sick if he did it.
Oh, he
He's
wanted
getting
to throw.
antsy.
V-reversal.
No, that's fine. I get it. Oh no, it's all downhill. Tommy two-step, is he gonna do it? He just might. One more touch. Grab, you got it. Tommy two-step eliminating the final member.
First up in week 6 was Tommy two-step's Urian taking on Danka Diaz's Dalsim. Tommy's Urian continues to impress week after week. I should mention friend of the show, Tommy two-step. Continues to impress week after week with solid work and a very expressive take on his character Urian. As you saw earlier in our week 5 coverage, Danka Diaz is running hot with his Dalsim, reversing the Psycho Curse, but breaking the losing streak against Punk and Team Inferno. The end result for some is surprising, however, considering Danka Diaz also uses Urian as one of his secondaries. Are you surprised that Danka Diaz was handled so easily in this matchup, Mortsy?
It is a little interesting, because Dank does play Urian. Obviously, playing against the character is very different than playing as the character, and you don't necessarily end up with the intricacies of playing against the character when you're playing as the character. But it's important to also say that this might not be a matchup that Dank wants to play normally. I don't know how it is, to be honest. I'm not super sure the dynamic of the matchup. Urian is Urian. Urian is the Unga god. That's the Illuminati's literally just a cover for the gorillas.
I choked on water there. That was okay. Yeah. Keep going with your answer.
So I'm not super sure if I can comment on the dynamic, because Tommy, obviously, this is just continues to show his fantastic play, and is just continually showing up and proving that he might be the stronger player on his team. So, still, also the Mika ban is a little. I imagine what we're gonna need to be seeing is starting Urian ban, right? But I'm a little surprised, especially Dank playing the character, and then also playing as Dank or as Sim. But what I'm thinking is that he might have picked this matchup. Well, he couldn't pick G.
Yeah, because Smug picked G.
Yep, he couldn't pick G. Smug is going to play G, which means that he's stuck with the Mirror, Blanca, or Sim, and I'm fairly certain he doesn't want to do either of these. Urien actually is one of the characters that could punish Light Ball without meter, I think.
Yeah, I
which
think
is
step
really
kick.
bad.
Step kick, forward roundhouse.
I'm pretty sure just tackle.
Oh, tackle. Yeah, EX tackle and tackle. Yeah.
So it's really bad. So Sim was his only option, and then that's not that great a matchup. I'm imagining, which is why Urien comes into play.
Okay.
Or why G would come in his overall matchup spread. I'd love to be corrected if I'm wrong, so I can know for the future when I play Urien or something. But basically, I'm not necessarily... Tommy's a fantastic player, and I'm not surprised that he won, but I'm a little surprised in how handily he did. I guess the best way to put it.
All right, SplicedHelix, talk to me about this Urien, and talk to me about the matchup between Danka Diaz and Tommy Two-Step. It was a little surprising, as Mortsy said. For me, it's also a little surprising. What did you think?
It surprised me just based on how he played the week before. As far as having to face Urien and that being one of the characters you play, just like Morsi was saying earlier, it's when you go up against somebody with a character that's a character you play, you can look for certain things that you would do against that character, but outside of that, you can't apply your play style to somebody else and expect it to be an effective counter 100% of the time, because not everybody's going to play the character the way you do. So he could have very well been expecting other things based on the way he plays Urien, and Tommy's a different animal. Like, just even from Urien's I'm used to playing, it's crazy how different his play style comes out and the way he expresses himself comes across.
Mm-hmm. And people have argued in the case of Street Fighter V that of all of the characters where you could express yourself the most, Dhalsim and Urien are the two that sort of stand out as, hey, I know this is somebody else. Hey, I know this is not, this is Danka Diaz Dhalsim versus this is Commander Jesse's Dhalsim, or this is Art's Dhalsim. Same with Urien. This is Tommy Two-Step's Urien, as opposed to, say, Nemo's Urien, or Slavic Gold's Urien, or whoever. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really interesting that we got to see this particular Urien on this big stage. And speaking of expression, last thing before we close off this topic, talk to me about the pop-off, the two-step. What was that? But rate it 1 to 10.
It's fantastic. That's what it was. I give it an 8.
I'll give it a 9 because I'd give it a 9 as a taunt. I think I said before. Mm-hmm. I'll give it a 9 as a taunt because it's like if he was a fighting game character, that's what he would do. And every time he taunted, and he'd walk, and then he'd do the walk away, and he'd turn around as he was doing it too. He'd pull all the way around. He'd make it super flamboyant and be like.
I mean, I asked him before the show started, or before the season started, if we actually do get to see him do an actual two-step, because the man can actually dance, and he said you'll have to wait and see. And that's the first two-step that we're seeing. I hope it's not the last one, because it's absolutely awesome.
That's the only reason I gave it an 8, because he didn't get up out of the chair and walk around in front of the podium and do it.
Oh, that would have been funny too. Let's talk about the next matchup. Hey Yo Mojo lighting up the stage with another new character, Falk Visnoise. He played Falk. I'm bringing a pull to the dance. And with the target ban of Balrog, Team Storm also got their player order correct, with Mojo meeting Smug in Game 2, later revealing in the post-game interview that it was Smug's advice to pick Falk when facing G. How impressed were you guys with Mojo's Falk, SplicedHelix?
Much more impressed than I was with that pun at the beginning of your sentence.
Sorry, it was there. It was there. I never get to say it. No one picks Falk. So.
And that's a very good point. Nobody picks Falk. So Smug saying, hey, use this character, and I know you're all right. with this character, and it's a good matchup, and you should pick it, and then it being listened to and working out, nobody knows how to play against Falk because nobody plays Falk. So, I mean, I think he played it exactly the way that he needed to, and it worked out. That jump back and big old look at, let me stick my pole across the screen and hit you. Yeah, I liked it. It was impressive.
I thought it was funny that the commentators, both Vicious and Tasty Steve, kept referring to any button that Falk threw out as a pogo something because they couldn't figure out what to actually call her specials or her actual moves. Mortsy, talk to me about this Falk.
Well, one, it's funny that the team that we expect to be pulling out all these kind of picks is the team that has these picks pulled out against them.
Yeah.
Mojo was one of the better Falk players, and when she initially not initially came out, but he has been on this character since season 3. Like, this isn't something new for him. So it's awesome to see. I don't imagine Smug literally said before they played, hey, if I play G, you should play Falk. I feel like this is probably something they've discussed previously.
Mm-hmm.
Tossing that out there. Where they're like, oh yeah, I'm having a rough time. And it's like, yeah, just play Falk, dude. That matchup's great. Although I don't particularly know how. But it's another matchup. That is a mystery. But it's fantastic to see. And this just goes to show, man. Like, he's got Poison and he's got Falk as his other characters, and it's kind of, he's just like brimming, full to the brim with matchup unfamiliarity for his opponent, and he is a tall cup of water. So it's really smart, and it's a great thing to do in a first. So I really like it. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
All right. So let's finish this one off. We're going to be talking about Automatic once again. As you guys just heard in the previous segment, I've been harping on Automatic for the last few weeks about not digging into his arsenal. Once again, he went with the Sagat, but this time, he notched a win under his belt. And it wasn't just any win, it was taking on 801 Strider's G, managing to successfully zone out and out Footsie, the Team Storm captain, and then put up an amazing fight before falling to Tommy Two-Step and the Two-Step. How impressive was Automatic this week? And now that we're at the halfway point, is it ride or die with Sagat? Or do we finally get to see something else from him? Mortsy.
I think I sound like a parrot or a broken record every time we talk about Automatic, but he's going to play the character that gives him the best chance to win, right? And this is, when I talk about the, not support players, but the players who the expectations aren't necessarily high. It's, if they get wins, they very much matter. Obviously, it didn't necessarily matter here, unfortunately, because his teammates couldn't pull their weight. But it's still fantastic because now you get a notch on your belt and it's freaking Strider, and you go, I am here. I'm making a statement. I am not just a free win for everyone. Cough, cough, roller legs. So it's really good. Obviously, he's been close on other times. He's gotten 2-1 previously. So it's like, to pick up a win against the opposing team captain, it's unfortunate it didn't pan out into turn into an actual win. But it's still, oh god, and that Urian comeback, that's gonna suck, dude. But it's so great. You just want to see people win that don't necessarily always win, and you want to see, and it's even cooler because he's playing Sagat. Right? That's super, super, super. God does, and can I just say that Sagat's Fierce and the Crouch Fierce are like two of the most satisfying buttons in the game, even on block, because he just wrecks you, like really just hammers into you, and the hit stop is so well done. So I'm a Sagat fanboy.
Crouch Fierce, Stone Fist.
Yeah. All right, SplicedHelix, talk to me about Automatic and where he goes from here moving forward.
I think he'll stay on Sagat as long as he can, as long as it's a matchup he's comfortable with. If there's something that he comes across that is just too inviting for a different character, he'll move to a different character. But it's like Morty said, you're going for the win, so you play with what will get you a win.
All right. Can I just say, though, I absolutely loved Tasty Steve's enthusiasm with every tiger shot that was thrown. He's just like, whoever made the design decision to have the tiger growl and roar after every tiger shot was muy bueno, super genius. We will leave it at that. And it was great. And I love that that Vicious was also trying to call every uppercut, like, please uppercut. And the commentators were 4. They were 4 automatic this entire time. And sometimes when you cheer on the underdog, it comes out really, really nicely as a presentation. And that was definitely something there. Let's go on. Week 6, match 2, Team Spirit versus Team Inferno. At this point, it's fair to say that with the names on each of these rosters, these teams are just flat out underperforming. Team Spirit, pointed out by Mortsy in our last episode, may actually be cursed with, quote, strong on paper, as was Justin Wong's previous iteration of Team Spirit. Though their record prior to Week 6 is at 500, Team Spirit has either won handily or lost easily, failing to find any consistency throughout the course of Season 2. The defending champions are definitively struggling, being on the losing end of the Team Psycho Curse Reversed, which I've said over and over again, I'm sorry, as well as actually finding themselves in last place in the standings going into this week. Here are your highlights from Spirit versus Inferno. Someone's gonna break out of a slump. Let's see who it does.
Yeah. Just a lot of good advantages to putting them in front.
And I like that how he uses it to initiate the offense too, if necessary. If it's going side to side or horizontally across the screen, he's gonna use it for offense. But now look at this. Oh, where's it gonna go?
Oh my God!
That was good.
That was the sickest thing I've ever seen.
That was so
How do
dope.
you block that?
Yo, last time we saw him put that V trigger too very low to the ground. This time put it about, you know, the exact
Just
height of
above the
Chun-Li,
hair,
right?
yeah. Oh,
Great confirm. Tries to go for it. I thought it was going to be a throw right there, but instead, it's strong. Okay.
oh.
Probably thinking he was going to swing right there. Trigger 2 once again.
And I like that. Smart for Brawly Legs to kind of walk into the first one and just make sure it dissipates without taking too much damage. However, there's another one. All right, no longer a threat. Nice work from Brawly.
Still always, the thing about that trigger is you always get some chip damage.
Yeah, it's just enough to kind of tease that damage, right? Enough for 7 to push it over the edge and then start going in, right? He's using it to kind of move forward more so than the damage.
And Broly Legs eliminate.
Kidding me?
Oh my god.
Come on, man.
Yo, Punk is sitting here laughing at JB. What do you mean?
When we talked about like the team, like chemistry and like these guys, the morale of the team, this is the kind of things I feel like you got to be wary of, man.
Oh. Not a fan, man.
But that's Punk's attitude, though.
Yeah. He thinks everybody's a bum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, punish? Look how much
my
damage that
gosh.
is, Steve.
Oh, wow, with punish, okay. Uses that V skill. Activation of her own poison. V trigger 1. Poison cocktail.
Yeah, he uses that to kind of extend the combos. Any sort of hit he gets off of that, and if he goes into V-trigger, he can let it rip into critical art. Or make himself safe after something like that if he commits to the whips, right?
Full CA available.
Oh, you're dead.
CA, yep.
I think that should be enough.
Oh,
Oh no, he's living, he's living, he's living. That's a lot of scaling involved. I think it's because of the V-trigger extension.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Swinging at the leg. Set point right now for Idom. JB is in trouble. Hasn't been able to get much of anything started in this set. If he can't make something happen, he puts a lot of pressure on his captain. Oh.
And not overextending is Idom. He's just hanging out. 10 seconds left on the clock. A lot of life to work with. But Birdie in the corner. Is he going to take more of these grabs? He might. Oh, that's fine. Yep. Time over. No quick run. Truth just
I
happened
was
to get
scared.
clipped.
My palms are really sweaty right now.
Knees weak, arms are heavy. I get it, Steve.
Vomit on the sweater already, too.
Karen's hair looking like mom's spaghetti. We're nervous. Shut up, Steve.
I did shut up. I was not prepared to go further.
A lot of respect being shown by both players so far. Playing at this distance, it's very difficult to tell who's going to make the first move.
And Punk just content with just spinning all V reversals on slowing Colin down.
The delay.
See, and he's waiting for it. Stand light kick, you got to be careful. He wants him to get into that range so he can get that crush right there. But still finding their mark though. They don't need to be comboable hits for to do damage. I can tell you that.
Yep. That's exactly right, too. It's doing a lot more mental damage, if anything. It's like kind of frustrating. Punk is like, man, I cannot get in past these normals. Well, you know what? I don't have to withstand that for too long. I have this V-trigger.
Oh, wow.
Dang. The damage.
Oh, jeez. Tick throw.
Oh, jeez, Rick. Okay.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Full CA on both sides. Trigger
26
is
seconds.
active for Colleen.
You got it.
20 seconds left. I can't believe Punk won that last
15
match.
seconds. Grab tire.
Uh-oh. Who has the life lead? There has to be a lot
Punk has a slight life lead. Oh, he
you're
has
dead.
a definite life
Oh!
lead. Nope, no, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
And Punk clutches it out versus CJ Truth. Oh my.
Putting himself at match point once again.
I love this stage.
I still remember when they first released this this stage of the song. Back in like, what, 2015, going into 2016. Sick.
Forward throw.
What a whip punish. I think this should be enough. Yeah, one more sequence. Yep, that's it. That's it. Punk eliminates Sabin. You know it.
Get the noodles.
Oh, come on now.
Hot sauce in the building.
Bone collector. Ankle insurance necessary.
The professor plus frames. Oh, nice. For too big a move right there. That crouch jab beat out the follow-up.
Yeah, you're going to take this throw. That's his nickname. Oh, boy.
And was ready for the side switch. This
Reset.
dude, Punk.
Reset. Okay, he got a little cheeky on that one, but he did have critical art, so I understand.
Double high heel kick. Back throw into the flames. Good damage on the side of Idom. And you know Punk doesn't mind letting that trigger run out, but he has CA. We saw what happened last time. Oh, see, and that's the close one.
Oh, that's it. That was off a medium kick confirmed?
And the Punk representing Team Inferno runs it back with an OCV of his own for Team Inferno, getting more of those W's, letting them stack.
In previous episodes, I have alluded to Sabin as potentially being the weak link on Team Spirit. Despite never being targeted for a ban as of yet, his Dhalsim has struggled in the same way Team Spirit as a whole has. Win handily or lose horrendously. This time around, it was win handily over Brawly Legs and showing off some very nice VT2 work in an impressive showing, with several of the remaining matchups not having Laura bans remaining to target Idom. Should rematching teams consider banning out Dhalsim to sneak in victories over Sabin and potentially hinder a key component for Team Spirit, SplicedHelix?
Yes.
I was gonna do the same thing. we did kind of already cover this, but I think we can go into a little more detail this time around because there was a new element introduced, and that is CJ's Colleen, which I for some reason, didn't think about. But it honestly, I think it just compounds what we've already kind of stated, where there isn't really a lot of strength in banning away. This is the Punk thing, but the issue is the team. So this is kind of what would happen if you had Punk on a team with other strong people. Because I don't think if Punk, instead of Broly Legs, they had like Idom, or they had, God, that's a nightmare. They had another super strong player, or like a character specialist who was considerably stronger. you would have this thing where I think people wouldn't even bother with. A lot of people might not bother with banning away Karen, just because. Like, I think with Inferno, it's kind of, you don't ban you just ban either JB or you ban Punk. With Team Spirit, I think we're in a similar case, which is what I'm trying to say, is that you ban either Sim or you ban Laura. I don't think you bother with CJ Truth. Obviously, he's a very, very strong player, but he's just going to reach deeper into his pocket and come out fine.
Yeah, it's the same thing you had to deal with Punk last season. It's you target somebody that can only play a certain number of characters as opposed to somebody who can just say, okay, I'll move on.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah, pretty much both our answers.
Fair enough. Quick question, quick answer. Let's talk about we just brought up Idom. Let's talk about him a little bit. The bullseye to target Idom and Laura has been relatively huge this season, as many teams have opted to not want to play against Idom until the second half. In strong losing efforts, we have seen Idom use poison twice now, and in significantly stronger showings than his Season 1 Birdie. This time around, Idom got a chance to shine with the target ban also on his opponent, as Team Spirit opted to ban Rashid and take JB out of the equation, with his Birdie not nearly as effective as a secondary. With 3 of the remaining 5 teams unable to ban Laura in the second half, can Idom turn the fortunes of Team Spirit around, who are now sitting at 2-3? Mortsy.
What's funny is that I think Idom would have won that round if he did the V-Trigger 1 combo that he has been doing in since SFL. It does like 500 damage for 2 bar. It's crazy. A lot of meter. Obviously you need it already activated, but damn, is it a lot of... I think it's 400 to be spent, or 400 something. Spend 1. And it's off of what he got, but he opted for the second. Oh, no. I think he did it off of activation. But even still. Yeah, it's just a lot. But, and even then, like, against Punk, I think he still did fine. Obviously, he already got a win against JB, which is great because he got banned. And then you're up against Punk. If you lose, bro, you lose. It's not on you. After you get banned, it's not on you to win the set. You take out as many people as you possibly can, but you will most likely lose. And that's fine. You have a role to fulfill when you are banned. And I think Idom is filling that so much better than he was last season. I don't think last season they would even be talking about him if wouldn't even be talking about his team if it wasn't for Samurai. Like, they wouldn't have been a team. So it's great that this time around he's not taking any of that shit, and he has a strong secondary that he can come and take games with. Yeah, and it's going to suck second half of the season for everyone else.
Yeah, there are still 3 games. 3 games where we're going to see Idom Laura, for sure.
You got that format buff.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you're gonna run Idom's Laura at least half the season. You know, it's just the way it is now. I think Poison might be a pretty bad matchup for Birdie, because I don't know if it was just Idom and JB's efficiency with the character, but that didn't look like fun for JB at all.
He does, once he gets in, it's very hard. I think there was not enough can was the issue.
Yeah, I think we saw like 1 can in that highlight. That was it.
Yeah, and then he got knocked down, which you just walk and block.
Yeah.
Because she can B skill, and you just anti-air. And like, what then, right? So
yeah,
she has to...
We'll definitely delve into the statistics of that one a little bit later on. But
sure.
It's definitely one of those things where you're looking at a very, very viable secondary, and if we can see this Poison in the remaining 2 games where Laura can still be banned, if we see this Poison do some work, watch out for Team Spirit. My goodness. All right, pièce de résistance for this one, and SplicedHelix is excited to talk about this one. Back against the wall, Karen on the table, and the best in the world waiting to fight. No questionable decisions and no holding back. This is the Punk we expected to see going into the season as the defending champion Inferno's team captain, edging out a victory via time against CJ Truth's Colleen and narrowly escaping Sabin's Dalsim. Punk then moved on to put on another dominating performance to bring Inferno literally out of the depths of hell and possibly contending for a top 4 spot still at the halfway mark of the season. However, Karen was only banned once in the first half of Season 2, meaning 4 teams will still have a chance to target ban Punk. Can Punk, the best in the world, carry the load without the use of his main character for almost the rest of the season? And does Inferno make that top 4 playoff? SplicedHelix.
Yes. I think they snake in there right at the bottom. I think they get 4th place, and they work all the way up. I think he's just getting warmed up. I think he hit the point where he's warmed up now, and it's a problem. It's a Punk problem. Yeah. We're coming back. No worries. We're coming back.
All right, Mortsy, talk to me about Punk, and can he carry without Karen? There are 4 matches where Karen can still be banned in the remaining 5 games.
It will be interesting to see, especially I think part of the issue with Punk this so far has been his insistence on using Lucia. I think that has actually been a bit of an issue so far, because a lot of teams she's not that strong a character if you don't know how to play against her. Like, she doesn't have that same strength as a Burden of Knowledge character that Poison or Honda do. I think she's a much weaker character in that respect. She's a much more standard Karen-esque character without Karen, and that's not very good. But I think Strider is someone who's pulling out much more potential in that character than Punk has thus far. What's interesting, and I think what's actually really nice about the entire league right now, and we'll talk about it more next week when we're due of the first half recap / stats thing before we do this week's, is that it's so close. The standings are so close right now. And so there is no team, I think, who can't do well, who can't pull it out for the rest of the season. Gale's already in a decent spot. They've given themselves a very good head start, essentially, on the second half of the season. So no, but you can't count literally any team out, because anyone can win. Psycho beat the Inferno last week. That's the kind of
we covered that. You guys can stop bringing it up now.
No, but
Seriously.
It's super important. The team that might be considered the weakest takes out Inferno, who came second last season. That is, anyone, that is so great about this format, the new format, and the strength of the teams. Everyone is so close.
They were first last season. Thank you very much.
Spectacular. I'm very excited to see what the second half of the season brings, and I'm also very excited to make an Excel spreadsheet about it.
I mean, we talked, Mortsy brought up the standings. It's really interesting. At this point last season, the only team that was actually out of it was Psycho. Everyone else was still in. This time around, everyone is in. It's kind of crazy knowing that you only need to hit this top 4 to make it to the playoff, and then it's winner take all after that. And then after that, of course, you have the unfortunate situation of playing Japan. But it is one of those things where you're just like, hey, everybody's still in, and all of these games and all of our records for each of these games, win or loss, actually matter in terms of the standings, especially with the logjam of all the teams with the same record. The only difference in their standings, of course, is their head-to-heads against everybody else. So we'll have to see how that one moves forward. I'm really excited for Mortsy's spreadsheet, too. I'm not going to lie. I've been wanting to do a Stat Boy stream forever, and I think it's going to be kind of great.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be really fun.
All right, let's talk about the final match here for Week 6. Looking to stay undefeated, Team Gale has been nothing short of dominant this season, with other 5 teams in the league at 500 or worse in the first half. Looking to get out of that is Team Frost, who, like Team Spirit, have been hit or miss through the course of the season. Here is your look at Team Frost versus Team Gale.
That is insane.
Set point for dual Kevin versus Shine right now. That's where those that's where these character bands become super powerful, especially if you're fighting somebody like Shine. He has very strong characters on backup, but making him fight your main versus his secondary is a lot easier.
Right.
You don't want to force yourself to have a tighter matchup when you can actually just, you know,
Punish on the V-skill. Yeah, that's right. So overcommitting on that. On that V-skill, got the punish, but either way, Shine finally get the quartering position. Wants to make sure Dual Kevin does not get a chance to escape this time around, because anytime Dual Kevin reset the situation, it was towards his advantage. Shine still working on that life. Activation into V-trigger. Extra dangerous now.
That's double standing medium kick to move forward, make you block it, gets out of the corner. There's a back throw. Activates the trigger once again. That's a forward throw. No damage coming from a neutral jump. Gets the empty jump.
No way!
And goes into the CA. Smith, yo,
What a guy!
With bells on. There it is. Here we go. Team Frost, Sherry Jennings versus Rob TV, representing Team Gale. Final round.
Both of these players getting stronger and stronger before our very eyes in this set. Down to the final round. No conversion, but either way, Sherry Jennings still on the offensive.
Good walk back and forth from these two. That roundhouse, I like to see it. Finally a dash up from Karen and Rob TV. Ooh. Last round, you need to be careful. There's a lot of meter on the table. Gets the Seismo. That is instrumental in getting that V trigger on the table for Nakali.
Speaking of, yeah, those Seismos hit our block. It's still gonna build that V gauge. A good amount of red there you see on the bottom. On that V gauge, again, so close. There she gets it.
All the damage that...
Activate. Nice jump from Rob TV, knowing about the interrupt there. Other side, great blocks from Sherry, but for how long? Rob TV clutches it out. Hollywood.
Hollywood. Always up to no good. Oh, Hollywood, Rob TV. Yo. Round if he wants to stay alive.
Still a match point for Samurai. Full critical art on deck for both players. Back to square one here in this final round.
Stand light kick. You see him priming it. He got a buffer in the DP.
Ooh,
He's
I wonder
the
what that
EX.
was. It might have been
wheel
EX
kick.
wheel kick. Twins.
Twinsies.
Oh, the stun! It's gonna be a good amount of damage. He needs to go for the reset. Drop City! Population Samurai! Looking to find permanent estate. Okay, I lied to you. I lied to you all. Now, the offense, all Samurai, close to death.
No. Blocks it. B reversal.
He's gonna land on it! Okay, V-trigger no longer a threat, but critical art is building up for Knuckle Do.
V reversal. Man, he is playing these matches so smart. He doesn't even need V trigger. He's just taking the V reversal, getting the knockdown, using the Great Life. So smart. Level 2 on the presidentiality levels.
Don't you move. Stay right there for 38 seconds. Both of y'all.
No meter on the side of Samurai anymore. Presidentiality levels are definitely good. G still on the life deficit.
Oh
level,
no,
so this is not
maximum present.
20 seconds just about left on the clock. And look at the chip on that level 3 fireball now.
It's a lot. Absolutely right, Steve. Something to pay attention, but now Knuckle Do is closing the gap a little bit more.
He's still getting
Oh
I
my
thought
God,
he
he
was
jumped in on him. I freaked out, Steve. It could have been an uppercut. V reversal. 5 seconds left on the clock. 3, 2, 1. And that's it. Samurai
Eliminates the captain of Team Gale.
Why you feel offended, boy?
Let's eat.
Why you feel
Let's
offended,
eat,
boy?
boy.
Let's go.
Let's eat, boy. You know where we from. You know how we do it. Let's eat. Hit the button then.
go.
Hit the button then.
Let's go.
Hit the button then. I hit the button already, motherfucker. I hit the button. Let's go. I hit the button. Let's eat then. Hit that button. I'm right here. I'm right here. Let's eat. I'm done talking. I'm done talking.
You are baby in the FGC. I've been here. Let's go.
Beneath my feet.
I feel the sky tumbling
I
down,
can feel it.
tumbling down.
Oh, he's got him swinging. He's got him swinging, Rob TV.
Oh no, he's in his head. Dual Kevin's been in this situation so many more times than Rob TV. But still, you can't count him out. Some of the best neutral in the business, Rob TV, trying to make it happen. Slight delay in the crowd strong. Getting this carry as well. Good amount of damage with the bar to back it up.
Nice. Sets out the tornado. Tries to punish with the fierce. No punish. Forward throw. He wants that corner. Dual Kevin wants to keep that corner. V-Trigger getting closer and closer. Uh-oh for Rob TV. He's going to need something. There it is. V-reversal,
excellent choice.
I don't know. I'm not sure. How is he supposed to come back now? Dual Kevin.
Just like
Wake
that.
up EX for Sin Hop.
Oh,
Hits the
do it
shoulder.
again. Woke up with the button.
I'll be...
All right. Continuing with a trend for the first half of the season, Dual Kevin and Team Frost opted to ban Ibuki away from Shine, the third time Shine has been targeted in the first half. While his Colleen has shown to be more effective than his previous secondary in Jury, it was still no match for Dual Kevin's Rashid. Despite one of the strongest characters in the game being targeted, Team Gale still managed to top standings at the halfway point, and having Shine on his main for 3 of the remaining 5 weeks could secure a top spot in the foreseeable future. Put on your Monot faces, gentlemen. Where does Gale end up at the end of round robin play with Shine at full power available for most of the second half? Mortsy.
First off, how dare you? How dare you mention Monot? I thought we were free
We
of
got
that
rid of
bloody
her at the
character.
end of season 1.
We don't need to talk about that character. Justin ain't here. No Monot players. It's been such a nice season. You gotta bring it up. It's really exciting for the Ibuki. The issue, I'm pretty sure the first time Shine wasn't banned, he got lost. And then the second he beat CJ Truth, even though he was getting slaughtered, and then won.
Because of Buki.
Sorry? Yeah, it's
Because of Buki.
No, but it was like he was dismantled in the first game and the first round of the second, and then he just steadily came back throughout the whole season or the whole game. So it was it was a really nice kind of oh shit, I played this character kind of thing. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see. We're assuming the bans go to NuckleDo. It'll be the G, but it's just not great. Like those aren't fantastic bans. We did already talk about Rob TV's Karen and whether or not it'll get banned. And it has already seen a ban, but I still see people opting just for the G just because it's super annoying to play against that kind of character. Obviously, though, we've noticed it doesn't just win. But it's going to be... I'm really excited to see Shine unleash. See a Buki unleash. Because surprisingly enough, he's the only one. That's across 2 seasons. Very surprising to see that we've only had a single Buki player. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be really fun.
All right, SplicedHelix, talk to me about Shine and the potential 3 out of the remaining 5 games Ibuki on the table.
Are you really asking me to talk about Ibuki?
Yes,
To me.
I am actually asking you to talk about Ibuki.
I hate fighting Ibuki. I imagine everybody else hates fighting Ibuki. It's gonna be something to have to think about. I don't know if it's necessarily gonna be oh my gosh, it's Ibuki, we're all gonna lose, but I hate Ibuki so much, and nobody else likes playing her either. So he's gonna do his thing. People are gonna try to counter it. It'll work or it won't. It's a wait and see type of thing.
It either works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's interesting that Mortsy brought up the point that we were talking at the beginning of the season about how volatile and how dangerous the character of G is. But we've reviewed 2 weeks now. Over the last 2 weeks, all the G players have lost. Is that surprising to you guys? Either one of you.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's
Yeah.
become enough of a problem, and there's been enough time for people to adapt to it, and
Also, can we just point out who the G players have lost to? Automatic Sagat, Mojo Falk,
And
Samurai Ryu.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just to point that out. Yeah. More stats. We're getting ready for next week's show, I promise. There's so many little things that we could talk about and we can extrapolate, but that wasn't part of my planned treatment. Let's move forward then. We're going to skip over Game 2 just briefly because, of course, the last topic is going to be Rob TV and Dual Kevin. Let's talk about Game 3, which saw Samurai targeted again for the ban with his Akuma off the table. Go toe-to-toe with a fully capable Knuckle-Doo who opted to go with G. Unfazed, Samurai once again went to the face of the franchise, and once again we saw another impressive showing from him. Samurai managed to more or less dominate the matchup, as it seems most players this season have taken a very patient approach to taking on G. Akuma was only targeted twice for bans in the first half. How confident are you in Samurai's Ryu to hold down the fort in the second half if he only has to play him twice? SplicedHelix.
I think that's more Samurai than it is Ryu, because he played it. I mean, you saw in the clip, he crouched, he down backed, and he's like, "Come and get me. I've got more life than you do, and you don't have a choice." So he played like Samurai plays, whether it's on Akuma or Ryu, and he mained Ryu for how long?
All of season one.
So I think he's fine. I don't think you're going to see the type of OCV potential like you would with Akuma from Ryu, but no, I think Samurai will be fine.
Mortsy, talk to me about this Ryu. He only has to play him 2 more times. Other 3 games, he still has Akuma. How good is this character, and how good is Samurai for Team Frost right now?
Ryu's not great. Samurai's pretty good though. But I think what's really important, and actually one thing I wanted to point out is that I did say that Samurai obviously has a certain style of play, but despite that, obviously he's played Ryu before and quite a bit in the initial parts of the game, but it's really cool to see how, despite the fact that he's playing the same style, the execution to do those is so drastically different between the characters, and that's really cool. I actually think being able to see that. So stuff like his fireball usage as Ryu is basically mostly just EX. He throws it out at very, very good times. Like, he caught Nakadu quite a few times. I think the first time he got knocked down was the first time he got hit by a fireball was because he tried to eat a V-skill, or he just sat there. Like, he wasn't even moving. So Samurai has found these timings that work so nicely. And then as Akuma, he generally plays a much more footsie-based neutral, where he's looking to whiff punish with that medium kick, whereas with Ryu, he's doing exactly as SplicedHelix said. He's just walking away and down back. He's not trying to whiff punish. He's not counter poking. It's fireballs, down back. And that's pretty much it. So it's really, really interesting to see. And then when he goes on offense, it's also, Ryu is not a character who is scary on offense, right? He's got throw, and then he's like +4. Like, it's so bad. You can backdash from the heavy punch if he tries to do it meaty. Like, it's bad. So really cool to see. Despite that, it's still seems to just be getting so many counter hits and so many and opening up his opponents so well. And then as soon as he plays, it's not like an actual in execution hit and run style, but it's effectively him he just cuts his win or his gains and immediately is just like, all right, I'm cool, back neutral. And that is something that we don't like. He's just super content. All right, that's a great life lead. I'm just gonna sit in the corner for the rest of the game. You know, like, he's just super content. Even though at the end he took like 4 over. Because he kept trying to jab after.
Yeah.
And it kept whipping because G's legs are like freaking stilts, dude. And he kept getting hit. I'm like, why isn't he just block it, dude? Obviously it worked out. Imagine if Knuckle-Doo supered one of those. But yeah, so awesome. I think the 2 games, they don't have to worry because obviously it's a joint effort between Dual Kevin and Samurai, even when Akuma is banned. So it's not that big a deal. I think the rougher times are definitely when Rashid is banned, 100%. So, yeah, very excited for the Ryu, just because, again, just love seeing more character diversity and more characters get the spotlight, and it's been every team that we didn't think it was going to come from that's doing it.
All right, last question. Oh, so go ahead, Spicy.
I'm kind of surprised that dude didn't pick Goff for that matchup.
Huh.
I don't see what the problem would be right there.
All right.
Because G's available.
That worked out really well.
All right, last thing on this Samurai Ryu, assuming, because we do that, we hypothetical and we do this a lot at this show, assuming that Samurai will have 2 more games with this Ryu, as he will be banned out, or he can be banned out 2 more times. How many wins does he get or how many wins individually does he get with this Ryu? SplicedHelix.
Who hasn't banned Akuma?
This is what the stat show.
That's
is
what the
for.
stat show's for. Okay, we'll save it for the stat show.
Save it.
We'll save it for the stat show. Okay,
And
I just
am
want
going to say though that question is very, very, very difficult to answer because it's going to be greatly varied based on that.
So we will jump into that on the stats show. I just thought about that on the fly, but we will get to it on the stats show next week. Pièce de Resistance number 2. This one's exciting because we saw some trash. People were throwing some trash or spitballing some trash. After winning a nail-biter against Sherry Jennings in Game 2 on unexpected turn of events, and a rivalry surprisingly surfaced between Team Frost captain Dual Kevin and Team Gale's Rob TV. As you saw in the highlight package, the conversation, to put it lightly, got heated between the two before going into the decisive game number 3 of their matchup, which went in favor of Dual Kevin. The end result brought more heat with a profanity-laced pop-off on the side of Dual Kevin. Do you buy this matchup as a potential rivalry, or is this just hype for ending Team Gale's undefeated run? Mortsy.
I'm not a big fan of like the loud pop-offs, the loud like confrontation stuff. I thought it's like I love Wolfcrone and K-Brat. I thought that was hilarious because it was contained, and the loudness came from everyone else. That's when it's entertaining. But when it's 2 people yelling at each other, it's like, bro, come on. And it doesn't even seem, they literally went and shook hands.
They definitely shook hands after. You can tell in the clip that they did.
Yeah.
Well, you can be friendly rivals.
Yeah, there's no animosity. And so, if there's no animosity, you figured that'd be a little more shit talking, but in jest as opposed to yelling at each other to press a button. It just seems, it seems kind of silly.
All right, before we continue, the things that were yelled out that I could make out from this entire thing was 1, press a button and start game 3. 2, Rob, you were a baby in the FGC compared to me. Those were the 2 things that I heard.
I've been here
was the repeated statement from Dual Kevin. SplicedHelix, talk to me about the trash talk.
Oh, I think it's great. As far as I know, they've got a little rivalry going, outside of SFL anyway.
They're both where's Dual Kevin? They're Midwest, aren't they?
They're both Midwest, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, Dual Kevin's Chicago, I think. Okay. Right?
Yeah, we'll have to somehow confirm
that. I hope I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Apparently last season we got a whole bunch wrong when we were trying to guess where people were from. So
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's fantastic. We don't have that. That's one of the elements that's missing from Street Fighter League is a clash of 2 specific people. You don't have maybe Punk and Smug. Maybe.
I was going to say Punk versus everybody.
But that's a generalized thing. That's not a specific rivalry. Mm-hmm. That's a come and beat me because I'm the best. This is Rob and Dual Kevin just I'm at you and you're at me and come back and forth. Yeah, they're gonna shake hands afterwards because it's not they don't hate each other, but just the rivalry is so much fun. Having a rivalry is fun to watch, and I hope it comes back toward the end of the season.
Yeah,
maybe maybe we have to beat you to get into the playoff type of thing, or maybe for some odd reason in the playoffs.
Yeah, that could be
it'll be great to see if it comes back.
All right, so officially after scheduling delays and other things, we at BTF are officially caught up.
We're back.
We are back on schedule. Thank you for tuning in.
No more timer scams.
I know. I mean, our next potential obstacle is Canada Cup, but I'm pretty sure we can work around that one.
I'm here on Wednesdays though.
Oh yeah, that's true. So we're
Right?
actually
Because I leave Thursday and I come back Monday. So
all
I
right.
shouldn't-
So look out for Mortsy at Canada Cup. There's
Team
your
Canada,
announcement.
woo!
Did you guys fill Team Canada yet?
No, we're still waiting on a fifth. We might go.
Do I really need to move to Canada? Golly.
Yeah, right. We're waiting on. We're still trying to just sort out who all is going, but we're probably going to end up going with Cayman because he's the strong jury player from
Calgary,
from Alberta.
Oh yeah.
We're just trying to figure out who all is going because obviously there's some incredibly strong players out of Toronto
Who are
and we
not?
haven't. Yeah,
They're not going.
Safe and like Fluxwave and Fluxwave out of Montreal actually, and then there's like Sabur being safe.
Yeah.
Sin, Orange Man, LES, Brutus is obviously coming.
I was going to say, go grab Brutus.
Brutus
Yeah, no,
is
he's
on
already
the team. He's on the team.
Yeah. It's Brutus is the only one coming from the East. Is our issue? Slain Man, I don't know if he's going. He probably would have been good.
Have you reached out to
two
the?
geek names on the same team might be not the greatest thing to do.
I was gonna say, have you reached out to the Pop-Off King yet? Have you reached out to Nickery?
Oh no, Nickery? No, he's not going. I was talking to the TTT guys today when they're doing their local, and I guess none of them are going.
Oh, okay, fair enough. That's unfortunate because Shane would have been good for your team too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
exactly.
let's close out the show here. Video footage from Street Fighter League Pro US is used with permission from Capcom. Follow the Capcom Pro Tour and Street Fighter League on Twitch at twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters, on YouTube at youtube.com/Capcom Fighters, and on Facebook Live at facebook.com/Capcom Fighters. I already did our spiel that says we caught up. Congratulations to us. The Runbacks Season 2 begins, or the second half of Season 2, rather, begins tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Twitch and on YouTube. For the panel, SplicedHelix, Mortsy, myself, togashiazrael. Sorry, what?
Mention the stat thing.
Oh, yeah, we're doing a stat show, too, before that.
We're just going to do a quick recap and just talk about a bit of the dynamic and the bans, because this is very important going in this second half of the rematches.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about how those will play out due to the format being different, which is going to significantly impact the way a lot of these matches play out.
It won't be a mega episode, but we're going to go 1.5.
We're gonna push it a little bit. So we'll see you next week for the first half stats analysis and week 7 review. Like I said, for the panel, SplicedHelix, Mortsy, and myself, thanks for watching. And here at BTF, we're going to echo the sentiments of one Tommy Two-Step. Take a look.
Yeah, he's fishing for that. I love footsies.
See you guys next time.